It just seemed that one day I looked up and I was 41 going on 42. And that's when I stared at myself in the mirror thinking, well, one day you're gonna do it. I can't do it when I'm 61. People never leave that comfort zone. They never leave their cage. They just decorate it. They distract from the reality of perhaps opening that little metal door and taking a step out. I've taken many steps now. I can't even see the cage anymore. It's that far in the distance. And it feels good, but like I said, it also feels uncomfortable. Most people never change their life. They just decorate their cage. They go for the car, they go for the material pursuits, they become enamored with always wanting to buy more, to decorate the house, to decorate their apartment, to really remind them that the work they're doing, the sacrifices that they're making are worth it. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a good, honest, hard-working human in today's day and age, but for me, this is where the purpose of the video will shine through, because I had the money. I had 3 high-paying clients. I was a sought-after creative professional videographer by trade, and I was making very good money. But recently, I quit. In a professional way, I didn't leave them in the lurch, but I told each and every one of them that I'll no longer be doing it, that I'll be getting on a plane, a one-way ticket, and not looking back. Now, people back home, friends, family even, are still scratching their head, wondering why. Why did I leave a good arrangement where I was making good money to come to the other side of the world and pursue a risk, a pipe dream even, something that has not really brought me any money for nearly 3 months now. But it raises a bigger question though. I knew the path that I was on, although on paper was good enough. It ticked all the boxes. What was happening was I was deviating from my true self, slowly, incrementally, every single day. I was giving more of my energy away, more of my creativity away, more of myself to other people. And again, we all do that. If you have a job, that's what it requires of you. But for me, especially after turning 41 and really starting to think about the time we have left, I needed to do something different. I've always been a creative person. I've always had a lot of creative projects, a lot of things in me that I've always wanted to get out, but I've always buried them deep, down below, under layers of obligation, responsibility, and professionalism. And you need those things to be a functioning, successful adult, especially in today's day and age. But I'm at a point in my life now, at a proverbial crossroads, where if I didn't take this leap of faith, if I didn't get on that plane and say to myself and to the world, it's my time to really see what I have to offer. If I didn't do that, if I didn't allow myself the space, the creative freedom to really pursue what it is I know that I can achieve in this life, then it was never going to happen. And that's what I mean about the concept of this video, that a lot of people, no judgment of course, because I know life is hard and there's bills every single month. I understand the pressures of being an adult, especially a man. But with that being said, people become too comfortable, and I was finding myself too comfortable. Now I know that's an insane thing to say, because comfort is what we all crave. We're conditioned to want comfort. We love an air-conditioned room, we love a cold drink, we love a comfy couch, we love a nice bed. Comfort is something that we as humans ultimately want. Now, without going too far into my backstory, my history, I may actually dive into it in another video, but for this video, just quickly, I grew up in immense hardship. It was good for a little while before I really knew how good we had it, but then the world came crashing down. We were homeless, poverty-stricken. There was death after death in the family. Times were hard, and not just for days or months, for years, for over 15 years in fact. Life was painful. You take one step forward, 2 steps back. That's just for some context, because what I'm trying to say is that my life recently became too comfortable, where I had I lost the hunger, I lost the passion, I lost the creativity that I had so far prided myself on because I was giving it all away to other people. It was then, in that moment, I remember it clearly at 10:30 at night on a Tuesday, where I was getting ready for the next day, a big shoot, and I remember telling myself, this can't be it. Yes, you're being creative, yes, you're telling stories, but you're not telling your story. And this is the full circle moment, the theme of this video, that a lot of people, you even watching this video now, perhaps has pushed down everything that you were meant to do in this world in exchange for being responsible, fulfilling your obligations and doing what must be done. Now I understand that. I will never undermine that, never insult that, never take that away from people because I've done it all my life. As outrageous as this is going to sound, that stability slowly was becoming a prison. Every day started to melt into the same single monotonous blur where, yeah, I was making enough money to pay the bills, but there was nothing else. I was losing the spark, I was losing the joy, I was losing my individuality, especially as a creative individual. And I needed to put a stop to that because I knew that time is something that is so precious. I mean, how many people have said that? I'm sure you've heard that 100 times in your life, but I was really starting to feel that. And in that moment, when the weight of it all, the realization came down hard on these weary shoulders of mine, I really knew that then and there was a moment I needed to act, because I knew that sometimes in life, the biggest risk you can take is not taking one at all. And I know how this may seem on the outside because I haven't quite made it click yet. I'm still not there. I still haven't made any money since leaving. I mean, full transparency, I have some savings, which I am dwindling down at an alarming rate. So we need to do something about that. But I'm working in the background. I'm really pursuing, I have systems in place, and I'm really working for me though. And I always knew that I could do it, but it just seemed that one day I looked up and I was 41 going on 42. And that's when I stared at myself in the mirror thinking, well, one day you're gonna do it. I can't do it when I'm 61. That was the biggest shift for me, is that one day will become a non-event. There won't be one day if I keep delaying, keep promising myself next year or after this amount of money is made and after these bills are paid. I'm not saying to be irresponsible. I'm not being irresponsible. I have enough to cover my basic bills, but again, the name of this channel is The Time We Have Left. And I have really started to think about how I want to use that time. What it comes down to is this. I'd rather face uncertainty with the thrill of a possibility at the end of it than a lifetime of regret. Now, I'm not saying my life was bad, obviously quite the contrary. You must be thinking, well, you had a good life, why would you leave it? It is because of that good life, it is because of that comfort zone, it's because of that life where there was no more growth, there was no more inspiration. I was simply ticking other people's boxes. Again, that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're conditioned, we're trained out of school to go get a job, work for the man, pay your bills, pay your taxes, and hopefully have some left over. This is not life advice. I'm not saying you should do this, but what I am saying is that I'm doing it, and it feels, yeah, a little frightening. I've always been someone who has made money per week, per month, and I've always budgeted for my life and those that I support. So right now, with zero coming in, yeah, it doesn't feel good. But I know deep down that I'm giving myself the chance to change my life completely, and perhaps those around me too. There's no guarantees in life. I could have played it safe. I could have stayed with those clients. One of them could have gotten sick. Another could have lost their business. Anything can happen. Just because you're on a good wicket or you're a safe wicket does not mean that's going to remain in the future. So for me, not acting on everything that I have here in the basement and up here in the attic, I knew that one day the rug was going to get pulled out from under my feet again, because inevitably that's what life does, right? So if I wasn't prepared, if I hadn't put things in place, if I hadn't started working on what I really wanted to do in this life, then there was going to come a point where it was just too fucking late. So that's what I mean by when I say people never leave that comfort zone, they never leave their cage, they just decorate it. They distract from the reality of perhaps opening that little metal door and taking a step out. Because that's what I'm doing. I've taken many steps now, I can't even see the cage anymore. It's that far in the distance. And it feels good, but like I said, it also feels uncomfortable. But that's where things grow, right? That's where everything is allowed, or given the opportunity at least, to shoot upwards. So I couldn't, for the life of me, continue for the next 20 years to decorate my cage, buying a nice thing here or a nice thing there, buying a better car. There's nothing wrong with those things, of course. There's nothing, I'm not trying to make you feel a certain way because maybe that's what you value in life. I valued it for a long time, but what I'm saying now is there's no value in that for me. What there is value in is leaving my cage, although risky, although uncertain, and finding out just who I am. Because at the end of the day, that's all I'm gonna have. I'm gonna look back when I'm 65, 75, hopefully 80, and be able to go to the other side, comfortably fall asleep for the last time, if it is a nice easy death. There's no guarantees in that, but at least I'll be able to cross over knowing that I gave it everything. That when I was 41, I booked that flight. I left my cage. I said goodbye to the trinkets and the decorations and the nicely arranged entrapment of which my life had become. So will I make it? Am I going to succeed in my pursuit? Am I going to realize the opportunity at the end of this risky and treacherous path that I'm on? Who knows? And that's the fun thing about it, right? I won't know. I won't know until I give it everything. So if there's one final message in this video, this musing, is if you are someone who is enamored with the material world, that's what you really want, that's what you work hard for, to provide for your family, to provide for yourself, then I'll be the first to congratulate you and say, good, it's a good life, and if that fulfills you, then who am I to say otherwise? But if you've been feeling like there's more to it, that there's something else that you need to do in this life before it ends, then perhaps you should think of the concept of the decorative cage of which you are living in. If you have these feelings, these hesitations, the feelings of, you know what, life is okay right now, but is it what I want to be doing for the rest of it? Then I would encourage you to at least look inwards. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything dramatic. You don't have to book a one-way ticket like I did. You can just put small steps in place, put the wheels in motion, and really start to have those conversations with yourself. Look at your cage. Look at your beautifully constructed, often updated materialistic dungeon, and ask yourself, is this it? Again, you're probably the envy of a lot of people. I mean, millions around the world. Certain countries, they would kill to be in a Western home, right? With running water, air conditioning, a roof. Again, I'm not ignorant. I'm not unaware that we're in a privileged position to be able to pursue a passion or a creative project. I've always been aware of it. I've always been aware of the injustices of the world. I had a lot of years where the empathy that I had for the world was detrimental to my future because I couldn't get on with anything. I couldn't really focus because I would just absorb it, or I would allow it to come and crush me. So I'm not saying I'm cold-hearted now, or that I've just said, you know, the hell with it and left on a whim. No, I have a plan. I'm calculated, because I know that dying in a nicely preserved cage is not for me. Now, if that's not for you, then I appreciate you watching to the end. Be sure to subscribe if you like these types of musings. There's these types of videos where I'm just pondering things, especially at an age now that I am at 41, more than halfway. So if what I'm saying is resonating, if you feel like, yeah, you know what, this guy, he's all right. The things he's talking about is, you know, some of the stuff that I've been feeling recently, then I would really appreciate a subscribe, a like, a comment. Just let me know in the comments, you know, what you're going through, what your idea of the future is and what it looks like. This channel will never be about what you should or shouldn't do. It's about what I'm doing, and if there's things that I'm speaking about that resonate with you, then I can hang my hat on that. So, a florally decorative cage with all the material trinkets, if that's what you want in life, then go forth. But if you know that's going to be an empty pursuit, a shallow feeling at the end of the day, then this is the time to pursue what it is you want to do, because again, we don't know how much time there is left.